Storybook Brawl was nice enough to send me some dust codes, so I'm doing another giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win.
What is up, everybody? I'm NoLuxGiven, and today we are going to be taking a look at my first game with the new Snow Angel on the most recent patch. And I did play some games of Storybook Brawl 99 with the new Snow Angel, but I haven't played any games of Storybook Brawl proper. No 8-player lobbies. But in both of those 99 games, we actually got a top 10 finish. So I think that Snow Angel is pretty strong. And with that, I think that it brings up an important concept. The idea of snowballing, if you will, in Storybook Brawl. The idea that when you have a lead, when you have some type of an advantage, sometimes that advantage just comes in the form of your hero power. What you should try to do is take that lead and look for other opportunities to build other leads. Start to create more snowballs, if you will, and that way maybe one of these potential avenues can pan out. So that's what we're going to be doing in this game, in this video. We are going to be creating a bunch of different ideas and seeing what happens, trying to get lucky for a few different angles here. And the first way that we do that is by picking up a blind mouse. The only other hero in this lobby that really competes for blind mouse is Peter Pants. There's no Wonder Waddle, there's no Pied Piper, there's no Horde Dragon in this lobby. There's even a Celestial Tiger, which wants nothing to do with blind mice. So a reasonable chance to find some mice here, but we're going to wind up pivoting a little bit from that. I see a True Love's Kiss on our first shop on 3.0, and I figure, let's spin the wheel. Let's try to get lucky. We have this little bit of a lead getting this free tier 3 unit, so let's go for it. And that gives me a Sporko, which is a pretty good unit. There's a lot of things that you can do with Sporko, and I decide to pick up Vampire and support it and play my board like this. The thing that is really interesting about the new Snow Angel is it really is just extra economy, extra power. There's nothing that really dictates what you build around. And I talked about this a little bit in my patch review. You could potentially want to make purchases in the early game so that way you can prepare if you find like a Good Witch or a Trojan Donkey or a Princess Peep, something like that from your 3.0 unit. But you don't have to go crazy with it. You can honestly just kind of ignore it if you want to half the time, and that's going to be fine for you too. Just treat it as a free unit and know that that's going to give you a little bit more flexibility to experiment and play around with what you're doing because you're just getting that little bit of econ. Obviously, XP, very good on Snow Angel. We looked at that in both of my Storybook Brawl 99 games with the new hero, but that's not what we're going to be looking at in this game. This game is just going to be trying to pursue a bunch of different silly angles, things like Polywoggle, and seeing what we can create here. Polywoggle is going to slay, so we're going to get another tier 4 unit. I think we do lose this combat. It looks like we are a little bit weak. It's actually very, very close, though, this combat, with my opponent just having a 2-2 left on board. But now we get a copycat. So again, there's just like a lot of different angles, a lot of different fun things going on. The game definitely wants to give us Ogre Princesses, though I'm kind of feeling Shard of the Ice Queen on this Ogre Princess. The reason being that we already have the Vampire, and then we have another Mummy in the shop. So that could wind up being good for us. And it pans out interestingly. We find another pair of Spellweavers after that. So I'm actually going to sell off the copycat. I don't really think that we need it. It could be cool, but we're going to just try to make some different things happen here. And Hat Ball, speaking of balling, is one of the most powerful things that you can do in Storybook Brawl. So I'm going to try my chances and see if we can't put that together. For that reason, I pick up Merlin's hat, though I do think there was a serious consideration for Telltale Quiver in that previous selection. We're probably going to be playing this Sporko for a little bit now, but the other reason that I take Hat, it kind of lets me pursue 2 different high roll scenarios at the same time. Now we could potentially build into Crystal Ball, or we could just use the hat to purchase some cheap XP, which, like I said, is very good with the Snow Angel hero. So kind of pursuing both of those things. We pick up another ranged unit here, so definitely regretting a little bit not having the quiver, but hopefully we are just going to be strong enough. We're actually in second place in this lobby despite only having 29 health. The rest of this lobby is pretty weak at this point, and then I will wind up rolling and picking up a friendly spirit. And then the reason that I sell off my other unit there just for one more roll is because we have Cinderella plus we have Merlin's hat, so maybe we could tick down on that just a little bit sooner. And then I'm just going to reorder my board the slightest bit here so that Vampire gets first attack and then Friendly Spirit can die. Not really concerned with the Polywoggle just because I think it's a stretch that potentially work it out. And this combat is very, very close, but unfortunately we do wind up just losing to Medusa. I think there were a lot of ways that we win that combat. Yeah, 72% to win, but just got a little bit unlucky, but that's okay. I'll go for a Mix-a-Whizzle on the Court Wizard. I felt like that was my most replaceable unit in this current build. And then I'll go for another Mix-a-Whizzle, but I kind of liked the idea of Friendly Spirit potentially jumping onto the Mix-a-Whizzle. Unfortunately, I don't like any of these tier 2 treasures. Really just looking for, I mean, probably Great Library Card is like the biggest get there, but we are just going to wind up rolling past that. And I'll pick up another Friendly Spirit, another Polywoggle. I think that both of those are pretty strong units before casting another Burning Palm on this Friendly Spirit and locking onto a third one. And I think that we can actually play a Polywoggle here. Again, we are kind of like experimenting this game, trying to do some silly stuff, and one silly thing that we can do is just backline a Polywoggle and hope that one of these Friendly Spirit lands on it. It's a little bit silly, but it actually works out, and that's why it's always worth just taking some chances, rolling the die, and seeing what happens. Unfortunately, we are going to take some damage here, but we also get an Aeon. So I am really looking for Forking Rod off of this triple. We've got Hat, we've got Aeon. It would be super great to pick up a Forking Rod. Unfortunately, we don't find it, but we can pick up Krampus's Sleigh. We probably assume at this point that the Galahad has some treasures, so I really don't think that that is too terrible, but I'm also not really expecting to win against them. They are a 40 health undefeated Galahad, Galachad up on the top of the lobby, so I do think it is going to be pretty tough to win against them. We'll pick up another Polywoggle, and this time we are going to be holding on to those Polywoggles and hoping that we can slay with them next turn on tier 5 and grab an upgraded tier 6 unit. So like I said, just pursuing a lot of routes. And here we're going to pursue one more route again. We're going to lock onto a pair of Spellweavers, so that way we can still potentially find the ball. There is still a chance. My opponent going to cast a Lightning Bolt and I believe a Fireball there from the deck of many things and do some decent work against us. But we do have a really large Spellweaver, which is going to crack their egg. So we don't win, we don't get to Krampus's Sleigh, but we do get to crack their egg, which is pretty nice in its own regard. I'm going to sell off the Vampire so that way I can pick up both of these Spellweavers. Then I'm rolling, and Polywoggle is definitely at the top of my list right now, but I'd also really love to grab a Spellweaver at some point. But with this Robin Wood, we can do a lot of work with a Polywoggle here. Now we can triple the Polywoggle, and the Robin Wood bonus will go onto the Polywoggle, giving it +7 attack. So that is really good. I am going to take the Lock Chest, take one more look for Crystal Ball. Well, we'll have one look for Crystal Ball from the Spellweaver, one from the Krampus's Sleigh, and then one from this locked chest. So, like I said, still pursuing a bunch of different angles right now. We've got like all of these ranged units, which are just keeping us strong, keeping us powerful. Remember, we got the Robin Hood and this Court Wizard both for free. Didn't have to pay for them. Then we're looking at the Polywoggle angle, which is going to get a Slay against Geppetto as long as we can attack with it, and we are able to do so. And then we are also still looking for Hatball. So a lot of different ideas going on. I thought this was a really cool game to show off and talk about, and we wind up putting some nice stuff together. Here, I am eyeing up that treasure map. We are going to win this combat and walk away with the Krampus's Slay bounty. So, Skip's Puzzle Rune, like we could complete another treasure this turn. We also grab an Echo Wood off of the upgraded Polywoggle, which I'm not sure how I feel about. The thing is, Echo Wood is really, really good, gets into all late game comps, but it doesn't do anything for us right now. So I'm going to True Love's Kiss this Echo Wood, see if we can get something fancy, and unfortunately doesn't really work out well for us. We get a Doom Breath, which is fine. It's powerful, and it's more powerful than Echo Wood right now, but it means that we, one, miss two different XP spells. We're going to see a Turkish Delight here, as well as that Wish Upon a Star, so we missed both of those. And it's also not something that we really want to build into in the end game. We do see like a River Wish Mermaid here. We saw a Baba Yaga in the previous shop. We could have potentially built that into a sleigh board, though it's ultimately not the most powerful thing that you can be doing, and leaves a little bit to be desired there still. So we are going to win this combat just off the back of Doom Breath. We get a little bit lucky here too that the Medusa doesn't attack the Robin Hood, but Doom Breath definitely did some work. I don't want to undersell it. I think that it was still okay what we did, though ultimately fell a little bit flat. And then here I'm going to pick up two more Robin Hoods, and we get a Tier 7 treasure. Exploring some different angles, like I said. None of these Tier 7 treasures are super powerful for what we have going on the board, but I think it's going to have to be the Round Table. I really don't want Excalibur, because then we have like really no chance of finding Crystal Ball. We'll just have the Lock Chest. It could still potentially work though, but even if that works, I don't really care about Excalibur if we are Crystal Balling. So that one's kind of bad, and then Fairy Queen's Wand, +7/+7, it would work. It would make us stronger, but the Round Table actually just makes us stronger on the current board, giving everything like +10 health or something from this Aeon, all of those triggers. So that is going to be the route that we go. Like I said, just exploring a bunch of different angles this game and making a bunch of sweet stuff happen. I think we're going to be strong enough here to battle through a Medusa. Yes, we are. They don't even crack into our pumpkin, so they manage to survive. And then we get our locked chest. Unfortunately, didn't pan out. A lot of things in this game just don't pan out. That, I think, is actually one of the coolest parts of this game, is how... I'd call it scrappy. I'd say that there's a lot of things that just don't work out for me in this one, and don't really do what I need them to do. I really do consider the Hugify on Good Boy here. I think I should have gone for it. I think I was worried that if I Hugify the Good Boy, then if I pick up something else, the Good Boy doesn't get the Robin Hood bonus, so ultimately it just wouldn't wind up mattering that much. But then I find a Dream Spell, so totally fine spell to cast here. Definitely a lot going on in this turn now that we've hit 6, and now we find an Echo Wood. I sell the Doom Breath to grab an unupgraded Echo Wood. Kind of feels bad, though, that Doom Breath did win us a combat, so I guess it did do some work. So now Robin Hood is going to pump up the Good Boy, and then Round Table is going to pump up everything and give that Good Boy, make it an 18/18, which is just going to pump my 2 ranged units in the back. I think that will still be enough here. We'll be a little close against this Geppetto, but I think that we will have enough stats. They do have a Cat's Call, so this one could get a little bit close, but we have all ranged units. I think that's actually just enough to allow us to survive here, believe it or not, just playing this full ranged squad. It does get very close, but we do still find the win there with that. And now we are Trophy Hunter. We're the best endgame hero, and we could potentially make some weird stuff work with the Good Boy, the Friendly Spirit. We have the Robin Hood. I I don't know if I realize it this turn, maybe I realize it in a second, but there is a little bit of weirdness with Echo Wood and Robin Wood, because that means that the Robin Wood is now going to pump up the Echo Wood instead of pumping up the Good Boy. So all of that can just make things a little bit awkward, and we'll take a Staff of the Old Toad here to potentially try to find some more Good Boys and just continue to get stronger. And I don't think I even wind up casting anything. I just cast a Flourish on the final shop of the game. Robin Wood having more health will give Echo Wood a little bit more stats, but overall, yeah, just a little bit awkward trying to fit an Echo Wood onto this board. We really need to find a way to either pump up the Echo Wood. That's why I was being so selective in the spells that I cast. I either want to pump up this Echo Wood or potentially, well, I'm not going to turn down an Evil Twin. An Evil Twin picking up another Good Boy, I think, is just too good to pass up, and definitely what we want to build into overall with the Trophy Hunter comp. So going to wind up casting that and playing another Good Boy here. And then I kind of want to see if there is a way to scale this Echo Wood so that Good Boy is getting the Robin Wood buff again. So for that reason, I pick up a Heartwood Elder. And the one thing that I could do here is I could take the Robin Wood. Oops, am I live? Great. I could take the Robin Wood and put that in front of the Heartwood Elder as well. Ultimately, I just decide that it's too fancy, it's too much. I don't want to deal with it right now. I'll worry about it next turn. And just focus on trying to win this combat. Good Boy gets the Slay, so that should be enough to get the win here, though Doom Breath is going to take out basically my whole squad. I do still have two absolutely massive and now one absolutely huge unit left over, and that is enough to get the win and get the kill. And then we see a Knighthood here. That is pretty tough to pass up, but I'm actually eyeing up something a little bit different. First things first, we're up against Geppetto, so these Good Boys are very, very likely to slay. So what I'm thinking is I could Knighthood this Echo Wood, and then it will become a 3/3. Heartwood Elder will turn it into a 5/5, and that will make it so that Robin Wood is now pumping my evil Good Boy. And that should be enough just by itself to allow the Good Boy to slay, which will be enough to allow the second Good Boy to slay and the Friendly Spirit to slay. And I think we've put something together here. It's definitely a little bit scrappy. I think I probably should have just put, and I believe this would work, if I put the Robin Wood in front of the Heartwood Elder, then the Echo Wood and the Robin Wood both get +2/+2, and then the Echo Wood gets an additional +2/+2 for the combat because the Robin Wood grew. So I think that would have been slightly better. However, we are going to get the Slay with our evil Good Boy. Our second Good Boy is going to go down, but that means Friendly Spirit gets the Slay as well, and now my Echo Wood is up to 1,000. We have to battle through a Magic Sword +300 there because of the Bear Stains, and we'll have to battle through one more with this pig, but my Echo Wood is just absolutely huge, and that is going to be enough to allow us to walk away with a win, and a win with Trophy Hunter nonetheless, which is pretty sweet hero to win with in the end game. This was definitely a really scrappy game, but I think that that can be a lot of fun in Storybook Brawl, first off and foremost. But the reason that this game was scrappy is because we tried to pursue a bunch of different paths, and to be honest, none of them really paid out. We tried to find Half Ball, we tried to find some Blind Mice, we tried to find a Tier 7 treasure, which we did, but it just wasn't a great one. And none of those things really gave us a winning comp, so then we went for a Dream, looked for that, and found one of the best late game heroes to dream into, and despite not having the perfect optimal board here, we were able to put together something pretty fun because we just threw out a bunch of snowballs and one was able to pick up some steam. Interestingly, my game tomorrow that I'm going to put out, my video tomorrow, I feel is very, very similar to this one. Very scrappy, very similar end game as well, and I played them basically back to back from each other on separate days, but that can happen sometimes in Storybook Brawl. You like play a game and you see some ideas and then you're like, ooh, I want to do that again. You like win with Slay, you're so much more likely to pick up Lightning Dragons and River Wish Mermaids in the next game. So we're going to be looking at a very similar game tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see that one. New Storybook Brawl videos every day. But that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lex Given. Peace. For my giveaway this week, leave a comment on any of my videos and include the word monster. New week, new code word, and you'll be entered into a chance to win a 4,000 dust code. The reason that I say to include the word, that way I can differentiate between the people just leaving a comment and those that are actually interested in the dust to make sure that it goes to a person that will appreciate it. And there's no limit to how many times you can enter. You can go back and comment on some of my previous videos. I've been uploading daily Storybook Brawl videos for the past 7 or 8 months at this point, so I'm sure there is some sweet content that you have yet to see. And yeah, you can enter multiple times. I will do a new code next week, and the other thing that I wanted to say is that if a bunch of people enter, I will give away more codes. So that's just going to be limited by how many people are entering and how many people are commenting. Let's get this channel to over 1,000. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'm No Lex Given. Peace.